Welcome to our today's story on the best speech by the greatest motivators of all time, Martin Luther King Jr. about how to have faith. Once upon a time, in a small town nestled in the rolling hills, lived a young woman named Emma. She was known throughout the community for her warm heart, kind smile, and her uncanny ability to bring joy to even the gloomiest of days. Emma had a secret, though, one she kept hidden from most. She had a dream that would require her to take a step of faith, even though she couldn't see the staircase ahead. Emma's dream was to open a community center for underprivileged children. She had grown up in a loving family, and her parents had instilled in her the values of compassion and giving back to the community. As she grew older, Emma realized that not every child had the same opportunities she had. She believed that a community center could provide a safe haven, educational support, and a sense of belonging to those who needed it most. However, there was one major obstacle standing in Emma's way. She had no idea how to turn her dream into a reality. She didn't have the funds, the resources, or the experience to start such a project. Doubt gnawed at her heart, and she often found herself wondering if her dream was nothing more than an impossible fantasy. One sunny afternoon, Emma was sitting in the town park, watching children play and laughing as they ran around. Her eyes welled up with tears as she thought about her dream. A familiar face, an elderly woman named Mrs. Thompson, sat down beside her on the bench. "Emma, my dear," Mrs. Thompson said, her eyes filled with kindness, "I've noticed you've been spending a lot of time here lately, deep in thought. Is everything all right?" Emma sighed, her heart heavy with the burden of her unfulfilled dream. She turned to Mrs. Thompson and said, "I have this dream, Mrs. Thompson, but I don't know how to make it come true. It feels like an impossible task, and I'm afraid I'll never be able to help these children." Mrs. Thompson nodded knowingly and gently replied, "You know, dear, there's a quote I've always found inspiring. It's from Martin Luther King Jr. He once said, 'Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase.' It means that sometimes, in order to achieve our dreams, we have to take a leap of faith, even if we can't see the path ahead." Emma looked at Mrs. Thompson, her eyes filled with hope. "But how do I take that first step, Mrs. Thompson? I don't even know where to begin." Mrs. Thompson smiled and patted Emma's hand. "Well, dear, you start by sharing your dream with others. You never know who might be able to help, whether it's with resources, advice, or connections. And remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." Inspired by Mrs. Thompson's wisdom, Emma decided to take that first step. She began by sharing her dream with her family and friends. To her surprise, they were incredibly supportive and encouraged her to pursue her dream wholeheartedly. Emma's parents offered to help her research how to start a community center, and her friends pitched in with fundraising ideas. As Emma continued to share her dream with the community, she discovered that there were many individuals who shared her passion for helping underprivileged children. People began donating their time, money, and expertise to help her get the community center off the ground. Emma realized that her dream was no longer just hers, it had become a collective vision, fueled by the love and compassion of her town. With the support of the community, Emma began the daunting task of securing a location for the community center. She searched high and low, exploring abandoned buildings, talking to property owners, and even considering the possibility of renovating an old warehouse. Every step she took was a leap of faith, guided by the belief that her dream was worth pursuing. One day, as Emma was visiting a local library to research grants and funding opportunities, she struck up a conversation with a kind stranger named David. When Emma shared her dream with him, David's eyes lit up with enthusiasm. "You know," David said, "I used to work in real estate, and I happen to know of a vacant building that would be perfect for your community center. It's been sitting empty for years, and I believe the owner would be willing to donate it for a good cause." Emma couldn't believe her luck. She immediately contacted the property owner, and to her amazement, he agreed to donate the building to her cause. It was a dilapidated old structure, but Emma saw its potential to become a place of hope and transformation for the children in her community. With the donated building secured, Emma's dream was one step closer to reality. The next hurdle was the renovation costs, which were far beyond her budget. Undeterred, she continued to share her dream with the community, and soon, local businesses and skilled volunteers came forward to offer their services and expertise for free or at reduced rates. The community center began to take shape, one brick at a time, just as Emma had envisioned it. She couldn't help but feel that the universe was aligning to support her dream, and she was filled with a sense of gratitude and awe. As construction progressed, Emma and her team of volunteers started planning the programs and activities that would take place at the community center. They reached out to teachers, artists, musicians, and mentors who were eager to contribute their time and talents to help enrich the lives of the children they would serve. One evening, as Emma was sitting in her nearly completed community center, she received a call from Mrs. Thompson. "Emma, my dear," she said, "I've been following your journey with great pride and admiration. You've shown incredible courage and faith, just as Martin Luther King Jr. said. You've taken that first step, and now you're well on your way to making a lasting difference in the lives of these children." Tears welled up in Emma's eyes as she replied, "Thank you, Mrs. Thompson. Your words have been a source of inspiration and strength throughout this journey. I couldn't have done it without the support and encouragement of this amazing community." With the community center ready to open its doors, Emma felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. Would the children and their families embrace the center? Would it truly make a difference in their lives? The day of the grand opening arrived, and the town came out in full force to celebrate the realization of Emma's dream. The ribbon was cut, and the doors were swung open to reveal a vibrant and welcoming space filled with books, art supplies, musical instruments, and eager mentors ready to guide the children toward a brighter future. As the first children entered the center, their eyes widened with wonder. They couldn't believe their luck in finding such a place where they could learn, create, and dream without limitations. Emma watched their faces light up, and her heart swelled with joy. Over the years, the community center continued to thrive, impacting the lives of countless children and their families. Emma's journey had been filled with challenges, doubts, and uncertainties, but she had never wavered in her faith. She had learned that faith wasn't just about blind belief, it was about taking action, working tirelessly toward a goal, and believing in the goodness of people. One day, Emma received an invitation to speak at a national conference on community development and youth empowerment. She stood before a crowd of eager listeners, sharing her story of faith, determination, and the incredible impact a dream could have on a community. She concluded her speech with the words of Martin Luther King Jr., "Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase." Emma explained how these words had guided her through the darkest moments of her journey, reminding her that faith was not about certainty but about courage and perseverance. Tears welled up in Emma's eyes as she accepted the painting. It was a beautiful depiction of a winding staircase disappearing into a cloud of uncertainty, with a single figure ascending it with determination. It was a symbol of their shared journey, of the countless steps of faith taken along the way. Emma and Mia embraced, knowing that their lives had been forever changed by the power of dreams and the unwavering belief that taking that first step, even without seeing the whole staircase, could lead to unimaginable heights of achievement and fulfillment. As the years passed, Emma's community center continued to thrive, and her story remained an enduring testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the boundless possibilities that can be unlocked when one has the courage to take that first step of faith, even in the face of uncertainty. Emma's dream had not only transformed the lives of countless children but had also inspired a community, a nation, and perhaps even the world to believe in the limitless potential of the human heart and the power of unwavering faith.